Hello, Hornets. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to your morning meeting today on February 12th, 2021. I'm Mr. Laux, the Dean of Students, and let's get into this meeting. First, I want to start with some attendance shout-outs, and this is for every grade level, 6th, 7th, and 8th. This is for everyone, regardless if you come to in person or if you stay virtual. I just want to let you know that since the beginning of hybrid learning, which was February 1st, we have increased as a school 4%. That is amazing and outstanding work. I appreciate every single one of you Hornets who have been able to show up, whether it's online or virtual. Keep doing it, and I think we could raise another 4% by the end of this month. That's my challenge to you, Hornets. Let's see if we can get this done. Now, with this weekend coming up, we do know that you have Monday off for President's Day. Also, Valentine's Day is coming up on Sunday. And those of you who celebrate Valentine's Day know that it's all about the love. So I thought I'd take a little bit of time today to talk about my first love. And I wanted to share with all of you baseball. Yeah, that's right. Baseball is my first love, just like my hat. Tampa Bay Rays. Go Rays, right? What I love about baseball is the inclusiveness. You don't have to be the tallest. You don't have to be the fastest, and you don't have to be the strongest. So it doesn't matter if you are 6'4" or 5'4". It doesn't matter if you have 250 pounds of muscle or if you have 250 pounds of, we'll just say, not muscle. As long as you have the mental focus and you can do your best, you can be successful in baseball. And one thing a coach always told me growing up, always said, baseball was 90% mental. It's like a game, right? It's a games within the game. There's so many different games when it comes to baseball. And so you might have heard how I mentioned that baseball is inclusive that way. However, baseball didn't always used to be inclusive. And when I say baseball, I'm talking about the actual Major League Baseball organization. Didn't always used to be inclusive. And with this being February, I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity to introduce you to some famous African Americans in Major League Baseball. These people made huge strides for the sport to make it go forward. Many of us have probably heard of Jackie Robinson. There was a movie that came out probably about 10 years ago called 42. It was all about his life. There's a Jackie Robinson Day. Jackie Robinson is the first person to break what they called the color barrier in baseball, which meant he was the first African American to play in Major League Baseball. But there's other people who helped pave that way for Jackie Robinson to make it possible. And first, we're going to talk about Moses Fleetwood Walker, right? In 1884, he became the first African-American player in Major League Baseball. He signed with the Toledo Club in the American Association. So this started way back before Jackie Robinson was even alive. Next, in 1887, there was a league that was called the National Colored Baseball League, and it was the first attempt at a professional Negro league. The league included several teams from Baltimore called the Lord Baltimores. You know, you had the Resolutes from Boston, the Browns from Cincinnati, Falls City, Louisville. We had the Gorhams in New York, the Pythians in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh Keystones, Capital City Club in D.C. Unfortunately, 2 weeks later, the league failed because there was a lack of attendance. We didn't have any fans going to the games. In 1890, the International League implements a ban on African American players. This league's ban will continue until 1946. And I know what you're thinking, that's just not right. It isn't. In 1920, Andrew Rube Foster. He was a renowned pitcher, which means like he was just a really great pitcher. and he was an owner of the Chicago American Giants, right? He calls Midwestern team owners to Kansas City. So they all gathered into Kansas City, and that's when they decided they were going to form the Negro National League. So the generic label, the Negro Leagues, it refers to various affiliations of professional black baseball players and extends from the late 19th century to the Jackie Robinson era, which we will show you shortly when the Jackie Robinson era begins. So dozens of all black professional and semi-professional baseball teams played throughout the United States in the first half of the 20th century, which is just the 1900s. At the top of the best Negro League teams competed in leagues that were regarded as the black majors. So even though it wasn't officially Major League Baseball, they still had their own Major League Baseball where they had the best of the best. A few things that the Negro Leagues were responsible for introducing. Number one, night games. Baseball played at night. The Negro Leagues started that. How cool. That is so awesome, right? The use of shin guards for the catchers and batting helmets. And then most importantly, the screwball, which is a curveball that curves the other way. And it really messes with people. Amazing stuff came out of there. And I'm sure there's so many more things that we just couldn't list on here that the Negro Leagues were responsible for creating. So the Negro Leagues were super inclusive, my friends. They allowed women to play in the Negro Leagues. That's right, women were playing as well. So after Major League Baseball had begun integration in 1947, we had 3 women in the Negro Leagues. They were in the 1950s with the Kansas City Monarchs and the Indianapolis Clowns. Those were Toni Stone, Connie Morgan, and Mammy Peanut Johnson. That's right. And we got a picture here of Toni Stone, and she played second base. How amazing is that? And it's so inclusive. That's exactly what we would love to have right here, right now. We still have a lot of ways to go. 1946. Now we begin the Jackie Robinson era. He is signed by the Brooklyn Dodgers, and he debuts with a team called the Montreal Royals, and that is their minor league affiliate. So in baseball, when you go to a team, you usually play in a team that is below them, like their minor league team, just to get some practice in before you make it up to the big leagues. In 1947, Jackie Robinson wins National League Rookie of the Year, which means he was the best first-year player in the league, right? And he solidified his position in a championship-winning Dodger lineup. That's right. He was in a championship-winning Dodger lineup. That's the Dodgers out of L.A. now, but they used to be in Brooklyn. In 1947 as well, Larry Doby is signed by the Cleveland Indians and becomes the second African American in baseball. 1948, Satchel Paige is signed by the Cleveland Indians and becomes all-time oldest rookie or first-year player at the age of 42. So something that baseball has done, because MLB has recognized that it is still lacking in its diversity and needs to reach the youth. And so they have a program called the RBI program, and that RBI stands for Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities. Right? And so the goal of this is to increase participation and interest in baseball and softball among underserved youth, right? They want to promote greater inclusion of youth with diverse backgrounds into the mainstream of the game, increase number of talented athletes prepared to play in college and professionally, and encourage academic achievement. And it also teaches the value of teamwork. Now, my question for you is that enough? What would make you want to play baseball? Send me, Mr. Laux, a Teams message or an email with some of your thoughts. I can't wait to see what you Hornets come up with that would be a great program or a great entry to have you want to play baseball. Thank you for taking this time today with me and letting me talk to you about my first love of baseball. Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy your President's Day off on Monday. And remember, subscribe below.